Hello everyone, Logan from Curated Avalon here to share with you my thoughts on some Noodler's Black inks. Now, you may recall in one of my previous videos, I talked about how I'd bought some Noodler's Black ink samples for a cousin of mine to try a bunch of different ones and find her favorite shade to use. She's 15, she's a student, and she loves fountain pens, and she wanted her own signature black ink. I was betting she was going to choose Borealis Black. She actually went for Bernanke Black. Once we swabbed them, I was pretty sure she was going to choose this one. She leans gray. I was thinking she wanted a black, but after she was describing it, she definitely loved the gray aspect of the Bernanke Black. Now the Bernanke Black, see, we swapped these a few weeks ago, is actually being changed. Its name will be Brevity Black from now on. And but for the sake of this video, I'm going to call it Bernanke Black because that's what I've got written down here. It's amazing what a couple of weeks can do. So getting into it, I have swabbed here Eel Black, X Feather, Borealis Black, Bernanke Black. I have the random Zhivago. She actually loved that ink, so we swapped that in as well. Noodler's Classic Black, Heart of Darkness, Dark Matter, and Noodler's Bad Black Moccasin. So of these inks, I use Dark Matter, Bad Black Moccasin, Borealis Black, and oh, I also have Noodler's Black. I actually never use this ink. It was the first one I bought, oh my goodness, probably 10 plus years ago, and I still have almost a full bottle. I just didn't love the color, but the qualities of the ink are fantastic. It is archival, bulletproof, forge resistant, and water resistant. So it's a good ink to have around. I just don't use it regularly. And if you want some clarification on the terms used for the Noodler's inks, I highly suggest going to their website. I'll link it in the description below. For me to explain them all, there's a lot to them, so I highly recommend just looking at their website for those. They explain it much better than I could. So X Feather, that is pretty self-explanatory. The ink's designed to feather less, potentially on maybe cheaper papers, you know, just a little less feathering. I have used this one before and liked it. Borealis Black, ooh, this is one of the vintage inks, so it has it's formulated after, I want to say the 60s or the 50s. Might be going back as far as the 50s, but it is formulated after a vintage black ink, and that's what drew me to trying that one initially. Let's see, the other ones that I use, Dark Matter and Bad Black Moccasin. So Dark Matter is my favorite. I don't have a really great explanation as to why. There's just something about this ink that I keep going back to no matter what other blacks I use. And then Noodler's Bad Black Moccasin is actually my second favorite for a few reasons. When I used it in my pilot Vanishing point, I used it for several weeks, and it wrote like a gel pen ink in that pen. And that was a kind of a fun experience. It was less wet. It sat up just ever so slightly before it dried. It felt like I was using a gel pen ink, and I loved that. That was really fun. So I love this ink. I'll use it again. The qualities of this ink are really good. Bad Black Moccasin, this one is archival, which is a huge thumbs up. Bulletproof, forge resistant, and water resistant. So that's pretty fantastic. Whereas the Dark Matter is only forge resistant and water resistant. It breaks my heart that it's not archival. I really need it to be archival because I'm just absolutely obsessed with it. The Borealis Black, this one is merely water resistant. So you know what, to use it as an everyday ink, nice deep black, it's a fantastic ink. If you are looking for something more archival, Bad Black Moccasin, I highly recommend. Alrighty, so I can write a few samples. I have two pens here. I have Dark Matter in my Pilot Vanishing point, and I have the Bad Black Moccasin in my Kaweco Sport Aluminum. So this is a medium nib. These are both medium nibs actually. I think my Vanishing point actually writes rather on the fat side, so which was kind of surprising being a Japanese nib. I think that the Kaweco Aluminum Sport. I think this one writes much thinner. Not sure why, but it does. So, okay. Oh, and by the way, since I forgot to mention it before, all of the writing to label, this is all dark matter ink. So it's actually pretty black, even though it does have a lot of gray to it. Alrighty, why don't we start with Oppenheimer's quote. Let's see, which of course he quoted himself. I'm going to have to bring it up to my eyes a little bit. Okay, there we go. Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds. And I always forget that these are so narrow. Alrighty, now I become death, destroyer of worlds. This is dark matter. Noodlers, of course. And this is the Pilot. Vanishing point. With a medium nib that really prefers to write like broad. All right, let's see. Just a little bit more of a sample here, and I will bring it up close to the camera. Alrighty. So, I mean, it's definitely more on the gray side, but I think it shows up as a pretty decent black. Going into the Bad Black Moccasin, which this is the label for the Bad Black Moccasin. It is known as the Warden's Ink. Lifetime sentence. Some of his labels are just so entertaining. You just never know. Alrighty. Let's see, can I actually, see if I can just kind of scrape this. I know this is technically cheating because I labeled it otherwise. I'll put in a note that says that this is the Bad Black Moccasin, but as this dries, you can see kind of the shading difference. Just looks a little bit blacker to me. I'll come back to it. Yeah, this medium nib is a little scratchy for some reason. It's never bothered me, but after using this, feels a little scratchy. Yeah, so we've got Bad Black Moccasin. Maybe I'll write some dark matter on this page too so that you can actually see what's going on there. Okay. Yeah, that's really tough to tell on camera, but there is a difference. The Bad Black Moccasin is blacker in my opinion. Alrighty. Alrighty, now I am become Death, the Destroyer of Worlds. So this is dark matter, and that way you can see it on the same page. Makes more sense. Alright, so those are the two I use, and they are my favorites. Thank you so much for watching. I'd love to hear in the comments below what your favorite black ink, be it Noodler's or another company, is, because I'm a little obsessed with black inks, if you can't tell at this point. I really love a good black. Thank you so much for watching.